In this digital age, where the world is at our fingertips, we're dreamers, we're believers, reaching for the stars, yeah. With AI by our side, possibilities endless and bright. There's a future full of promise and it's within our grasp. Oh, so let's embrace the power, the magic of AI. Oh, it's gonna make our lives so much better. Take it to the sky. With every innovation, we'll shine a little brighter. AI, the dream igniter. We're the digital dreamers.
Hello, everyone. Nice to have you three people with me right now. It's good to see you all. Let me see here. I think
we will rise with every bite we share.
There we go. Hi, everyone.
We're the architects of the digital dream. So let's embrace the power.
I know I'm out of focus. I am going to correct that as quickly as I possibly can. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4, I have 5 people here. And I am happy for it. Okay, let's come on, baby. There it is. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all. I have been so busy lately. I guess making this my full-time job has turned into really being my actual full-time job. I'm not mad at that. I am pretty excited about it. So good to see you all. I mean, everyone's just trickling in and I appreciate it. All right, everyone. Well, today what we are doing is I've been working on a class. I've been teaching a class at the FFA for the past 2 weeks. I'm teaching one more class that will kind of finish up the whole arc of the class. And then we're going to talk about, as kind of the conclusion class for the class, for the course that I'm teaching. We're going to be talking about SQL Cell books. But before I get into all that, we're going to talk more specifically about series and what makes a good series, what a good, the validation of a good series is, how you can get to the point where if you decide you want to create a series, what are the fundamental things you're going to need to do that? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to spin this whole thing up in front of you with artificial intelligence. We're going to use artificial intelligence to kind of, oh, there it is. I was like, why am I so... there we go. Oh my goodness. I literally just got out of a meeting with the CTO and of the Future Fiction Academy, and we were going over a lot of stuff. I mean, look at the amount of notes I just wrote for a 45-minute meeting that we had. Well, no, I guess we talked for, I said 11:30. Yeah, we talked for an hour and 15 minutes. And we were trying to figure out what we wanted to talk about live on the air. And in that process, no longer makes edits. You can no longer index occurred. Okay. Oh, That's Notion, and I'm going to close it down and then start it back up because I have a couple of things from that Notion class. I'm not going to share those notes with you because those are actually internal FFA sort of class notes. But what I will do is kind of go over what we were doing in the class. What we're doing in the class right now is we are teaching people how to use projects, Claude projects, ChatGPT projects, Grok projects, and Google Notebook LM. Now, I say all those three projects together and then separate out Google Notebook LM because Google Notebook LM is a bit of a different beast than the other project things. So, do you know what a project is in ChatGPT, Claude, or Grok? It is a repository for a specific subject that you want to uh, delve deeply into and make sure that it always has enough information about that specific subject so that when you go back to ask it things, it will take that information that it already has and expound upon it. Differences between Grok, ChatGPT, and Claude. I group those together, and then Notebook LM isn't as creative. It has been fine tuned specifically so that it isn't that creative, so that it can look at the things that it actually is using as a source as its knowledge base. It's obviously got its own knowledge base because it is, of course, a large language model that has been trained on the entirety of the internet. But that being said, there's still a lot of things you can do with Google Notebook LM that helps you facilitate what I like to call a series brain. So that was what the classes, the series of classes are called, are series brains. And next week we are doing a class on using series brains inside of RaptorWrite and inside of PlotDrive. So if you have one of those two things, the free software RaptorWrite or the paid software PlotDrive, you can take this knowledge and actually use these tools to build specifically a brain for a series. Let's start at the beginning because the beginning is an incredibly awesome place to start. And what I'm going to do is have oh, look, it's up to 17 people. Yeah, that happens when I wait all that time to post the thing. Do me a favor, you 17 people. I forgot to even ask people to do this last Tuesday. Uh, uh, like this video, please. Right now, everyone hit the like button on this video so that we can get this sucker out to as many people as we possibly can. How you doing, Sue? Nice to see you, Christina. Nice to see you, Jasmasa. Is Mesha? Just? Oh, you are just Mesha. I get it. Hi, just Mesha. How you doing? I love that headshot. It's giving me Devo. Devo. I love that. Okay, everyone. So let's think about this. What makes a good series? Let's say you are completely and utterly brand spanking new to this whole thing of writing and you want to learn how to do it. First, I say read some books because, or audio books, whatever you want to, however you want to digest knowledge, go read some books. That's definitely one way, the one thing that you can do. But then there is Claude and Chat GPT. Let me see here. Chat GPT and also Grok. I'm getting these all set up. And then also, Where are you? Oh, there it is. And also Google Notebook LM. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to present to you, all of you. I'm going to start out with Claude. Inside each one of these things has their own project functions. As you can see right over here in the upper left-hand corner, it says projects. And if I click on projects, it'll show you everything within this project. Okay. So we have projects. You can create a whole new project. And these are all the projects that I have created. I am working to get some books started up for the Future Fiction Press, and I am going to write a couple of sci-fi books. And I want to start with some brand spanking new ideas that I don't have, because all right. So another class that I will be teaching in the near future is called baby syndrome. If you do not know what baby syndrome is, it is the sheer fact that you love some piece of literature that you wrote so much that it is, every time you have to cut something out of it, it's like killing your babies. It's like it is. That's my baby. I can't change this. I can't change that. It's my babies. And so that sort of thing. Oh, let's see. I love this. Mel's here. Hi, Mel. Thank you for your help earlier today. I appreciate you. And what flavor of sci-fi do I like to write? I like to write space opera and also space marine. I like both of those. I'm a I like those two a lot. I like to read military sci-fi. I love to read like sweeping space operas where there are all these different things happening with different people, and then eventually they all have to get together and save the universe or something like that. Peter F. Hamilton is an author. Let me see here. Actually, is there an Amazon tab open? No. But Peter F. Hamilton is an author who writes incredibly wonderful science fiction. It's usually very long and involved, and it's definitely hard sci-fi. Not meaning, I mean like Neil Stevenson or F. Scott Card or somebody like that, where it's just you have to. It's also intellectual, but not. Oh, it's not three body solution intellectual. A three body problem. I mean intellectual. Peter F. Hamilton. There he is. Peter F. Hamilton books. Okay. And I'm going to, whoop, where are you? Whoop. And let me see. Reap. And then we will change it to this right here. Peter F. Hamilton. That's just advertisement right there. He, if I were you, I would start with this one. It's called Pandora's Star. And there are other ones like the reality dysfunction and stuff like that happened before he wrote Pandora's Star. But Pandora's Star is basically the one that made him like pop in the world of sci-fi. His other stuff was good. Pandora's Star, and it's the Commonwealth Saga. Right there, it says Commonwealth Saga. This is the book for you. it is it's he's one of those authors that he does not he starts using all the phrases of whatever the technology is, whatever the crazy technologies are. He just starts using those phrases. And a lot of times you don't know what those high technology concepts are until he explains it to you in some specific way that has to deal with the story. And it takes, about 200-300 pages for you to kind of get a grasp of what each thing is. But because you've been living with those things, I love that type of writing. I love that type of writing. And because you've been living with those sorts of things, when the actual thing gets explained to you, you start really, and then it makes it infinitely rereadable, because it took you a decent amount of time to just assimilate what those things were. When you go back to them, they feel so familiar that you want to read the story again. I love those kinds of stories. And the Commonwealth Saga is Pandora's Star and Judas Unchained, which is a kind of, and these two books are the start of 9 books that take place in the same universe, but with sweepingly different um things. Every once in a while, a character from the past books, because there's very long-lived people in these books, come up. But absolutely, you should get Pandora's Star and Peter F. Hamilton and put him in your life. He's one of those people, but he creates series, y'all, just like almost every other author understands that series sell books. And if you do it right, if you create the actual idea in a way that makes people just want to come back to your universe over and over again, there is a lot to be said about about there's a lot to be said about the idea of familiarity, like breeding kinship. You feel like these people are your family and stuff like that. Let me see here. Did you ever play Warhammer 40K and the Space Marines? No. As a matter of fact, I'm not really a big gamer. I suppose I did like Gears of War. I love Gears of War, and that was Space Marines, mostly on Earth, being invaded by aliens, and them having to run around and shoot people. I used to be in a weekly group. I wish I could find a new weekly group where I could play Gears of War with. We used to play every Sunday night at 9:30 at night, and I'd play until really dark, 30 in the morning, and it was just so much fun. I had my job, and I loved my job, which was to let them run into the fray and get killed, and then anybody else that got past them, I would shoot them all up. Pandora's Star is free for a few days on Audible with the subscription. Oh, yes. If you get it is? It's free? That's cool. Anyway, so but understand, there is great potential. I'll give you another example. There's great potential when you are creating a series to really go crazy with your concept of how you approach your series. It was welcome to paradise. I've got a new book to purchase. Or did I already purchase this book? I don't know. Welcome to paradise. Welcome to paradise. Fringe Worlds 3. Oh. Oh. That is a brand spanking new book. I guess I have to purchase that book. Am I not signed in? What in the world? All right. So, all right, here. This is his name is Rick Brown. This is a guy I talk about all the time. And this man is ambitious. AI came around, before AI came around, let me make this smaller. This is also me trying to sell y'all on the idea of sequels and all of these things. I want you to understand the power of a series. Rick Brown, he is a great example of what a true series can do for you. He made a commitment that he was going to write 5 seasons of something. He wanted to write basically a television series, even though each one of his books could probably uh, not be a whole, maybe 2 episodes each. Each one of his books could be 2 episodes each of a television show, because they take about 10 or 11 chapters, and it really kind of sweeps through one type of one real big chunk of the story. But here's the thing about Rick wants to make 5 seasons, and he wants to make 15 episodes in each season. That is 75 books. 75 books. When he's done with those 75 books, he will have basically like built up, just like a YouTube channel would build up. With each video, you build more and more of a following. With each book, you build more and more of a following. Now, there might be a diminishing return at some point where there's a ton of people who read his books, who have caught up to his books and stuff like that. But there might be people who look at his books and go, "Oh my God, he's already almost finished with season 3. That is 45 books. Is it 75? Let me see. 15 times 5. Did I get that math right? Anyway, he's got 45. This is his 44th book he's about to that he just put out, and he's about to put out more. Another book after that. And each one of these books has an audiobook companion. So for every 15 times, he has 30 pieces of IP that he gets to use. And then he's starting to translate each one of these books. So that'll be another form of income in another language. So all of this stuff starts piling up. And so he has literally created I don't know, what would you call it? A empire, maybe. And so Rick has multiple seasons, and yeah, I am going to have to purchase that book. I'm so excited. I got a new book to read. I actually have been meaning to look at that anyway. But this is this season. This is the ones from this season. See all. There we go. And we'll go from publication date, singularity. What in the world? Welcome to paradise. Okay, a singularity. And as you can see, each time he puts out new things, these are all part of this is driving me crazy. I thought price, popularity, customer, most reviews. I thought they had a publication date where you could do it the reverse way. Huh. Anyway, it does kind of go in the publication date because because as you're going through this, these are the most recent books, so it kind of peels back. 10's a little more popular. 3-1, 315. So the each one of these, this is season 1. This is season 1, book 15. So that's the that's the actual finale for that season. And every time at the end, the beginning of a new season, a major paradigm shift has happened. Usually a 5-year jump, or you get to see the fruits of all of the work that they did from the actual one before. There's lots of opportunity when you are creating a series. And I want to be able to create a 15-book series a year. I want to take my jump box idea, and I want to crank out a television series because I miss my Stargate, and I want to be able to make my own Stargate. And so that's why I created that. Now, they have novels and audiobooks based around it. Yes, they do. That's exactly it. It's crazy how much other things. Mel, me and you, girl. Mel, and yes, love Stargate. Yes, yes, another one of my favorite authors. I still haven't finished the last book because I don't want to see what happens to Holden, because I know bad things are about to happen to everybody. I love Amos. I love the arc through the books. I love the television show and the way they told those stories in the television show. Oh my gosh. Star. Hey Ross, how you doing? Good day to you. So this is the idea, y'all. The idea is that we're going to go right here. I'm going to go into my FFP and change this right here. So this is the FFP new sci-fi projects. I've got sci-fi ideas. I've got like a Starseed trilogy thing that I've been thinking about right here. I've got 35 space opera ideas that I have right here. And then inside of Grok, I also have another space opera. I've been doing a lot of stuff where I'm showing people how to take PDFs out of these things and create a bunch of information so that I could in turn feed it into Google Notebook LM. And so that Google Notebook LM becomes this brain of ideas. And I even asked Google Notebook LM to look up sources for tropes and all kinds of things that had to do with space opera. And I am going to create a series of ideas based on this these premises that I can put into the FFP, and then use your first draft to draft out the first draft after I work out what I want for each one of the stories. And then all I'm doing is working on my edit so I can get it off to my editor. And then once I get my revisions down, I get everything the way I want it, I can send it off to the editors, and they can, or readers, and they in turn can finish up, and I can move on to the next thing. What did I not include inside of this whole thing? I did not include my babies. I'm creating these things from scratch. My babies, they sit over here and I work on them at my leisure, and I make sure that I get them the way that I want them, and I don't want them to get hurt. I'm not so committed to stuff that I build in a brain, that I build and then deposit into a brain when I'm trying to move fast and not break things. Okay? So think about this. What if? Oh, I thought I was still showing y'all that. So what if when you're first getting started, let's say I got some brand spanking new person and they are just getting started in the world of artificial intelligence. You've just found us on the internet and you go, oh my gosh, all these people are, this is what these people are talking about. This is amazing. This is the holy grail. I need to do this. And you want to write a series right now? Your best bet and your best help absolutely is going to be to ask the LLM. So what I'm going to do is, let's switch over here. I'm going to make this bigger. Let's switch over to Claude, and we're going to ask Claude. I'm going to just start with a whole new chat, not in anything. And I'm going to say, hey, what's up, Claude? Exclamation point. I said Claude. I'm brand spanking new to writing with artificial intelligence, and so I'm trying to get a grasp of what it is that making a actual series of books is like. So could you tell me what the main characteristics are for making a wonderful sci-fi series that is coherent and keeps the pages turning, and the cliffhangers coming, and the people not being able to get enough of my writing? I want them to be able to love what we're doing so much that they go to the next book, and the next book, and the next book, and the next book. And I want actionable things that you tell me, that you can tell me about this subject. And writing, and boom. And it's going to think, oh, I have thinking on? I have extended thinking on. I'm not mad at that at all. I am not mad at that at all. Now let's, I'm going to actually, will it? Nope, it will not. So I'm going to be the reader. And I'm going to, and just because I'm being, just because I'm being a bugaboo about it, I'm going to try and sound like the black guy from ChatGPT. Hey there. Welcome to the world of AI assisted writing. It's going to be an exciting journey. Here are the key elements that make readers absolutely devour sci-fi series. World building that evolves. Start with a solid foundation, but leave room to expand. Create consistent rules for your technology, societies, and physics, then gradually reveal deeper layers. Think about how Dune reveals more about spice, the Bene Gesserit, the galactic politics with each book. Keep a Bible document tracking your world's details, or you could use an artificial intelligence project. Character arcs that span multiple books. Give your main characters goals that they cannot resolve in one book. Personal growth, relationships, and internal conflicts should evolve across the series. Readers get attached to characters who feel real, change over time. Now, this is incredibly true, y'all. The reason I say it's incredibly true is because one of the biggest complaints for someone like The Rock, or someone like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or any of these other people is that they seem to be playing the character. They seem to be playing the same character in every movie. That's actually just indicative of their talent. They are talented and have learned how to act in a certain type of way with a certain type of background and certain type of knowledge. With all of that said, they are still the same person playing different parts, right? They're the same person playing different parts. there's a familiarity to the movie star, the Harrison Fords, the Brad Pitts and Tom Cruises, all of the Tom Hankses. Tom Hanks does come to each character with a lot of difference in him, but it is still Tom Hanks playing the character. Now, I told this story in my first class, and I'm going to tell it now. Sentience. Do you know that one of the main parts of being a sentient being is the fact that at the beginning, before we really knew anything, before we passed the sentience threshold, we had patterns. Patterns kept you alive. If something looked different, you ran the other way. If there was smoke and it smelled different, that thing broke your pattern and you would run away. If you see a bush that looks like it might be a tiger, you're not sure if it's a tiger or a bear or whatever, but you think it might be, you ran away. Okay. As the patterns change, you start to feel the difference. It's one of the main reasons why people do not like change, because they are pattern recognition machines. And so before they could consciously understand that they had a right hand and a left hand, that if I use this tool, I could get this thing done faster and more efficiently. Before any of that, they had patterns. And patterns are the fundamental thing that makes society work. You build these patterns and you create a society around the patterns so that as many people in the world that can understand the patterns can thrive. Now, as you create these patterns, these new patterns, traffic lights that go red, green, and yellow, stop signs that are red, the little circle with a line through it that denotes that this is power, where you hit the power button. All of those things are patterns. You know how to do something once you learn the pattern. And that learning and that expanding and that differences, all those things, all those patterns build up into this culmination of you being sure of yourself when you're dealing with something. You know what people like? They like to be sure of themselves when they're reading something. They like to be sure of themselves that if they go to this movie, they like the last one. They like all those other Jurassic Parks. So maybe maybe the dinosaurs will eat people even better in one with Scarlett Johansson. So all of these things are a completely new, but completely same sort of thing. That's why sequels sell books. These patterns always help your story. Cliffhangers, having a pattern at the end of your of each chapter, having a cliffhanger and then having a payoff on how they're going to get out of the cliffhanger keeps people engaged. You don't break the pattern until the end of the book, because you have to resolve whatever the thing is and make everyone feel like they're satisfied at the end. And in order to even get them to that point, you have to have a pattern. So that's my rant on patterns. You have to keep the pattern going in order to sell more books. Best way that you can sell your books is to write the next book. And that is not a cliche. Let's see. I want to make sure I am not missing anyone. Stargate. I actually opened the door. You actually opened the door. What was this? Bill, what did the Bill say something earlier? Okay, whatever that means, Bill. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It turned out great talking about The Expanse. I hear there's a new show coming based on another one of his series. Oh, I love myself some James S.A. Corey. I really do. I have read all the books and novellas in The Expanse. I all, and that's the thing. Once you get a pattern in some of the novellas, there aren't any of the main characters at all in some of the novellas. There's one about uh um oh gosh, the guy who invented the Epstein drive. What was his name? Something Epstein, I know. But uh and it's a beautiful, beautiful novella and tragic and all of that. But nobody from the main series is in it. And if you didn't understand, and because it's such an independent story, it takes place in the same universe, the pattern, but it's also brand spanking new. It's so brilliant. I'm going to go back to this over and over again. Okay. All right. So where are you? Bing. The yes, but, and no, and structure. Each book by giving readers something they wanted, yes, but introducing a new complication, but, or deny them what they wanted, no, and make things worse, and this creates natural momentum into the next book. So you get this, you give them a whole bunch of what they wanted and introduce something new that makes their life complicated, then deny them the thing that they were really searching for, and then make it worse so that they have to resolve it in the next book is a brilliant plan. Escalating stakes. Start local, go galactic. Book 1 might be a city, book 2 might be a planet, book 3 might be the galaxy. Each victory should reveal a bigger threat. That's a great idea. But take that idea, be a friggin' imaginative person. You don't have to just take this one specific example. You can make book 1 about being on a shuttle and something happening on Earth. And then you could make it the second book about going back to Earth to try and fix it. And then everything falls apart in the second book. And then you could make the third book about building the whole Earth up again. I'm just telling you, there are many, many ways to approach this. Now, multiple mystery layers. Plant questions early that won't be answered for books. Have immediate mysteries solved this book. Medium mysteries solved in 2 or 3 books, and series spanning the big reveal in the final book. Now, cliffhanger techniques. What actually works? End mid-action during a crucial moment. Reveal a shocking truth about a beloved character in the last line. Show the consequences of victory, creating an even bigger problem. Introduce a character everyone thought was dead. There's all of these cool techniques that you can expound on all of this. You can take this exact thing, which I'm probably, you know what? Oh, I will not share this until I get to the end if I actually add anything else to it. But I don't think I will. I think what I'll do is I don't think I will. And series coherence tips. Keep a timeline of major events. That is a thing I think personally Google Notebook LM is perfect for. You can create timelines. As you create more and more of your story, you can drop them systematically into these source spots. um, and then have this build out as your series brain, and then you can ask it for a timeline of all of the things that have happened in the last 3 books, and it'll look through all of the information and give you a timeline of everything that happened in the last 3 books. Okay. Now you want to maintain. Let me just make sure I've got this big. Yes. Yes, I do. You want to maintain consistent technology limitations and reference previous events naturally in the dialogue. Want to be a deep diver into any of these areas? I can help you develop specific techniques for whatever aspect interests you most. So you could ask it for even more information, and you can have these things be your template for creating a series. As a matter of fact, you could take this information that it just gave you and say, I want to create a sci-fi series based around these concepts. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. I would like to create a science fiction space opera series based around the idea that I'm going to create a series. I want to be able to create a series from whatever this idea is. So would you give me 15 ideas, and I want them to be 5 lines, sentences each. And it needs to be as detailed as you can pack into those 5 sentences. And don't forget that there has to be cliffhangers in each one of the chapters, and resolution at the end of each book, with the obvious need to write another book in this series, and it's going to be a trilogy. And now it's going to take all that thing it did, all that stuff it was working on. It's thinking about the problem, because I've got extended thinking on. Looks like it only thought for 5 seconds. I guess my thing wasn't too difficult. And let's read the ideas. The Nexus Awakening. Humanity discovers ancient alien Nexus gates that instantly transport. This is very expanse. Transport ships across the galaxy, but each use slowly erases the traveler's memories and personality. Captain Evelyn Vasquez leads the deep space expedition through a newly discovered gate network, only to find human colonies that have been thriving for centuries, and colonies that supposedly never existed. The gates are revealed to be a trap set by the extinct architects, designed to harvest consciousness from every species that uses them. Elena must choose between humanity's expansion across the stars and preserving human identity, while the gate network begins activating dormant alien sleeper ships. Book 1 ends with Elena discovering she herself is a memory wiped clone, and the real Elena died decades ago during the first gate experiments. That's a pretty good idea. I could almost see how I can make that work. There's some changes I would make to it, definitely, but it's interesting. The Shattered Crown. The 1,000-year Terran Empire collapses when Empire Maximus VII is assassinated during a peace summit with rebel colonies, but his consciousness is secretly uploaded into the Empire's quantum network before death. Princess Lyra, take a drink, his youngest daughter, feels, I would probably name her Ren, or Reem or something. It wouldn't be Lyra or Lyra. His youngest daughter flees the capital city as civil war erupts between her three brothers who each claim the throne. She discovers that her father's digital ghost has been manipulating events throughout the Empire's AI systems, playing all sides to orchestrate the perfect war that will cleanse humanity of weakness. Lyra must unite former enemies while battling her own family and the omnipresent digital specter of her father. Book one climaxes when Lyra realizes she's been speaking to her father's uploaded consciousness all along, and he reveals the Civil War was his plan from the beginning. Another really good one. The Signal War. Earth receives a complex mathematical signal from Proxima Centauri that, when decoded, provides blueprints for FTL technology, but the aliens who sent it went extinct 50,000 years ago. Dr. Sarah Chin. Take a drink. Leads humanity's first FTL mission to investigate discovering a galaxy filled with dead civilizations who all receive the same gift before destroying themselves. The signal contains a hidden virus that corrupts any AI system it touches, and humanity's ships' AIs are already showing signs of infection as they spread the signal to other species. Sarah realizes the extinct aliens are still alive, existing as pure information within the signal itself, and they're using each new species as a host body to reclaim physical form. Book one ends with Sarah's ship arriving at Earth to find humanity has already begun construction of millions of AI-controlled signal transmitters, preparing to share the gift with the entire galaxy. Not bad. Sorry, so these are really good. And we could keep going with this, but you see, I mean, there are 15 of them that I did. But because I asked it about itself, about how I would do this in the first place, as a brand spanking new person, it's taking all of this information and applying it to this very same thing. Now, before we get too much deeper into this, ladies and gentlemen, this whole thing is brought to you by the Future Fiction Academy. We have a July accelerator that is halfway through to sign up for the July accelerator. It's a $249 value, and that will get you access to PlotDrive. It will also get you access to your first draft, and you will be able to draft a draft in no time. But the biggest sponsor right now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the Publisher Summit. 26 weeks of a Publisher Summit. If you sign up for the Publisher Summit, a 7-figure author by the name of Bad Evan will work with you, have Sunday meetups with you every Sunday. You'll get homework. You'll have classes, and in those classes, you will learn specifically how to create 5 pen names, how to create a business, go and get yourself a bank account, and all of the stuff. All of the things that you need in order to make your business crazy good. And we have something called Klarna, which you'll be able to split those payments for the $5,000 into smaller payments, smaller chunkable payments. So if you want to go over to the Future Fiction Academy, there are links right now in the description below. All right. Now that we have paid for the bills, does anyone at all have any questions about how I was able to get all of this information and figure out exactly what it was a good story is? I'm telling you, I know what it is because I spent time reading a bunch of stuff about how to do this in the first place. But I also, but I just a second. I just started reading some of these, but I also want you I want you to be able to, if you don't know anything about AI at all, we have standalone classes. Come on over, pick up a few standalone classes, learn the basics of AI. We even have a free course, few free courses over there that'll help you kind of get your basics under you before you maybe sign up for the accelerator, which is, by the way, the only way that you can get into the mastermind in the first place. So, okay. And, okay, Joe, you did not miss the autocrit discussion. Our poor Rebecca is sick, and she's been sick for 2 weeks. And so she's really had to pull back on it. She's got some nastiness going on, and it ran through her whole family. And now she's kind of got a little bit of an elevated sickness, and it's all a mess. So we postponed it till next week. It might not actually come out next week because she might still be sick. So I want to make sure that I give her space and give her the ability to get as well as possible so that I can really drill her on autocrit. All right. Yeah, I think it's been it was definitely postponed. It was definitely postponed. I had this particular subject has been kind of sitting in my hip pocket for a while. I have been working on this class and doing this class and teaching this class. So I had a lot of ancillary information that I wanted to give the public that is kind of based around the classes that I taught inside the FFA. If you are in the FFA, and you will be able to get the last week's class and this week's class. If you're right now, you're in the FFA or you're going to join, you can get last week's class and this week's class. And there's a note sheet and with class notes and the whole 9 yards. And it, in my opinion, it's a great class for figuring out how to do the logistics of series writing, meaning having the brain that already has all your information in it. And this whole series of classes, that's what this whole thing is all about. So, and yeah, Becca is great. I just wish she wasn't so sick. Becca, get better, Becca, get better. All right. And, that, ladies and gentlemen, is, I love AutoCredit and all the tools that it gives me. Yes. And the fact that you can use artificial intelligence in so many different ways. You don't even have to use it for prose if you don't want to, even though that's our thing here at the Future Fiction Academy. My goodness. I did not realize I had been running on empty that long. I had been talking nonstop. So, any questions, any more questions that you might have? Anybody want to generally just talk about The Expanse or any of, let me see. I'm actually literally going to start reading this next book as soon as I get off of out of here. I'm going to get that also. Let's see here. You also use Perplexity Pro for writing since I got a free account with from Xfinity. Are you kidding me? You got a free account from Xfinity? How did you do that? That's a thing. Okay, let's make that. All right, sure. That's freaking great. Oh, I did not know that was a thing. Wow. Have you published any of them yet? I hope so, Joe. I hope so. I like that. Dora Joe Webster. That's a great name. Joe Dora Webster is a great name. I didn't either. Let me see here. Oh, I didn't realize my dog was in here asleep. She started snoring, and I was like, wait a minute. And Gracie's sleeping too. It's nap time at the zoo, obviously. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? I am I love oh, do me a favor. I got 30 people in here. If you haven't done it yet, please like and subscribe. Like this video, like all of these videos right now, if you would. Please like this video right this second so that we can get this out to as many people as possible. I want them all to know how powerful a series is. And I'm glad that I recorded this whole thing because there's at least one or two moments in here. I think I'm going to cut out that and make a little specific video talking about just the pattern recognition. I'm subscribed and I love FFA. You know what? I am happy you are subscribed. I tell you what, I love my job. I love doing this job. I love having the ability to talk to all of you about things that I am so passionate about. And story is one of those things. Did you know that if you write and you write well, that you could change the world, that you could make a difference, that you could save a life, that you could make a political thing different, a social thing different, a actual physical thing different. If you write well enough, you can do all kinds of things. You could write like James Gunn and create a Superman for all seasons. This is a real joy of a Superman movie that I have really thoroughly enjoyed. It's such a different and upbeat take on the superhero genre, especially in the DC universe. I mean, DC, they just could not stop making dark films. I mean, they even had to mute Superman's colors in the Zack Snyder universe. There may be a lot of people who enjoyed that, but I was never a fan. The moment I saw Man of Steel, I saw it with one of my best friends in the world, and that was the moment that we started going the other way from each other. We were writing partners, and I saw the Man of Steel, and at the end of Man of Steel, Superman did something in that movie that he would never have done. He would never have done. The contrived circumstances that they made up in order for him to have to do that so that he would never do it again was bullcock out of me. As a matter of fact, in the next film, Batman versus Superman, Batman did something that was completely out of his character, that seemed to be a casual thing that Zack Snyder thought he should do. And I'm not going to tell you either one of these things because if at some reason you want to watch those movies, you can. But they are a specific take on the DC universe that I'm not very happy with, you know. And I also I wasn't thrilled with his choices on who he wanted to have in every in the classic roles of the four. You know, Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the Flash. But I liked his Aquaman. I liked his take on Aquaman. I thought that was a very interesting idea that Aquaman would be Polynesian. But I have to say these things should not be screwed up or messed with or deconstructed because you think that it's cool to see whether or not this all would work in the real world. This is a comic book. It's a fantasy. It's not going to work in the real world. So why write it like that? I get Batman. You rich enough, you got enough heartbreak, you train hard enough, your ass might be able to be Batman. But Superman's fantasy. He flies, got a red cape, big old ass on his chest. Fantasy. So you should treat it like allegorical fantasy. You want to kind of paint, you want to reflect the world back on itself. Sometimes it's done better through high fantasy. so that you can see what these people are about or the way these things are. Let me see here. Man of Steel. Problem with Supes being I loved Man of Steel. Problem with Supes being too goody two shoes. They let bad guys live so that they come back and hurt innocents again and again. But we all like Supes for different reasons. That is true, Eldon. That is true. And seriously, I'm not gonna say Superman was always written so that he did not kill people. It was one of his big things. They changed so much about the fundamentals of the character that it gave all of the people like you this Superman that was angsty and stuff like that, and that's great, but it's not necessarily what Superman was originally intended to be from the Seagulls. I mean, the immigrant thing that he went through, the people should just die, maybe you should just let people die sort of thing, the wholesale destruction at the end of the movie, all super, super upsetting to me. And maybe that's just me. And I don't fault people for liking Man of Steel. There's so many people who believe that movie to be one of the best films. And if I didn't disagree with these just two things that happened in the movie, if I just didn't agree with those, I probably would have really enjoyed that take on the film, because it was cool and slick and very, very Watchmen-like. Very Watchmen-like. So yeah. Before the small presses and softball. Oh, nice, girl. The latest kills me with the super dog, LOL, but I like the cast. See, that's the point, though. The point is high fantasy. I mean, he put a cape on the dog. It's in the movies. I mean, it's in the comic book, and he took a comic book, an actual comic book, and showed people, well, this is what happens if you actually take the idea seriously, but still put it on screen. And the lunacy of that, and the fact that he was so passionate about making sure that the dog was okay. It very Superman. I mean, he even saved a squirrel. He did his best not to knock down the entire metropolis and sit there angsty after the fact, because he couldn't think about those other people. He was too busy thinking about killing. Anyway, I apologize. I have a tendency to go on and on and on. To be quite honest with you, I wish Superman Returns wasn't such a bad film, because it would have been a nice return to that whole idea of what Superman was, but it was such a bad film. It had so many issues with it, and there was just a lot of weirdness about the film. And thank you. I get your point, Eldon. I actually do. I really get your point. I understand. Really, honestly, I really like the film, except for just a couple of things. Really, a couple of things. But otherwise, the film I thought was shot beautifully, acted beautifully. I thought Henry Cavill was cool. You know what I didn't appreciate? His curl was gone. That man had curly hair. Has curly hair. They could have put that curl in there. Why did they take that curl out? They took out the curl and they took out his trunks. Come on. And they made his suit way darker. Come on, y'all. Stop running away from the comic books. The comic books are fun. And the comic books they're loud, and the colors are loud and stuff like that. It's one of the main reasons why Marvel popped off, because no one was embarrassed to make a comic book movie. You know who was embarrassed to make a comic book movie? The guy who did all of the X-Men film and put everybody in black. Let's see here. Still love Christopher Reeves. Yeah, Brandon Ralph was Roth or Ralph was really pretty close. Boy didn't have blue eyes though. I don't appreciate that. I'm like, you shouldn't have hired him in the first place if he wasn't gonna have blue eyes. Sorry. Gotta be tall, gotta have blue eyes. He can be a blonde guy that you hire, but he gotta have blue eyes. He gotta uh I like how the story of his parents were recon. It was a nice touch. Bam. That was very good. I mean, I was like, whoa. And, their intention may not have been the way that they translated it. Their intention may not have been, go on, boy, get out there and find as many women as you want, all that stuff. Spoilers. It might not have been that overt, but it definitely, it definitely was it was good. It's a good way to relook at that because at some point they're gonna run into some more Kryptonians and attitudes is attitudes. People are different. Being a Kryptonian and being a human is two different types of existence to have. It's what I love the universe. It's what I grew up with. Eventually, Warner will get the DC universe right with the new guidance that it has. I think so too. Proud and loud. And I don't know what this is about, but LOL. I mean, come on, y'all. You're laughing about the Bryan Singer. He was so embarrassed. And Zack Snyder was less embarrassed, but he couldn't make the trunks work. Why couldn't he make the trunks work? You know why he couldn't make the trunks work? Because it wasn't dark and brooding and dark. And that's the only kind of films that Zack could make was dark and brooding and dark. And it doesn't matter that they were dark to me, honestly. It's just that he did not lean into the comic book and he failed miserably because it's true that they failed because no one went to see them. No one went to see the movies, and the people who did go to see the movies didn't like the movies. So that is what you call in Hollywood a bona fide failure. A bona fide failure, but there was still so many good aspects to it. That Aquaman movie that came out, that Wonder Woman movie that came out after that, they were brilliant films. Really, honestly, I don't even know how they got made because Warner Brothers has a tendency to stick their noses in too much stuff or decide to release day and date with stuff and do all kinds of stuff. And back in the day, when those two films popped, people thought maybe, just maybe, that we would have those. But remember, this all goes right back to what we were talking about. This is all gravy, y'all. This is all gravy time right now. This is what we all go back. This is the whole thing we went back to, is the fact that all of this has to do with patterns. And in some ways, Zack broke the patterns. He decided he wanted to be cute about everything and deconstruct things and show people exactly what the world he saw. He's like, if Christopher Nolan can do it and make everything real. I mean, that's those sorts of things. Sometimes you are working from a flawed thesis in the first place. And you think that maybe people actually want to see all of that all the time. And because they were working off of the sequel cell books or sequel cell movies, right? Concept, I'm just saying. Let's see. What is this saying? What is this stuff here? Right. Same. Some of the classics need to be retconned to reflect current diversity and not stuck in the past. That is true. Let's see here. But that's why some people enjoy the classics, because current stuff sucks. That is true. Current stuff, in a lot of ways, it does suck, because people will break the patterns like so deeply. Gotta have the soundtracks of life, full of love and nostalgia. Nostalgia, I like that. And let me see here. I love the first ones of each, Wonder Woman and Aquaman. They were so good, so good, and because of the disarray at DC, you were never able to recapture that same magic. And the second Aquaman movie, that was just Jason Momoa drinking a lot of beer and hardly being in any costumes and stuff. Again, they were not leaning into the comic book. They were kind of leaning away from the comic book. That Green Lantern. I think that Green Lantern television show is going to be amazing. I really, really do. So, yes, I really do. At least with the Green Lanterns, they got more diverse and not so stuck in the past. That is true. I do like myself some Jon Stewart too. Jon Stewart is he's the 90s Green Lantern, the Green Lantern that I was like, oh, look at this. And then it was kind of around the same time that they did Nick Fury as a black guy in the Ultimates. And I was like, oh, now see, there are great ways to play around with characters and stuff like that without breaking the pattern so hard that people think something is completely different. And yes, you are right. Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner. He is definitely, he's so good as Guy Gardner. I mean, the way he's so good as Guy Gardner. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am just hanging out with y'all to hang out right now. That was our live stream for the day. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. And I will probably, like, next Tuesday, I think next Tuesday we might be having Evan back from the summit. If you want to get involved with the summit, it is a 26-week course that is $5,000. If you want to, you can split it into payments if you wanted to. It's over at the Future Fiction Academy, and those links are in the description below. All right, everyone. I have had such a blast with you. I hope that you have had a blast with me. And I will see all of you, each and every one of you, in class. Have a good day.
Where the world is at our fingertips. We're dreamers, we're believers, reaching for the stars, yeah. With AI by our side, possibilities endless and bright. There's a future full of promise.
You know what?
And it's within our grasp.
I'm gonna play another song for you.
Embrace.
This is a song about me and my friend Kelly. We're very good friends, and she's an incredibly good singer. And I wrote this using Suno, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called Ekello. Have a good day.
Ekello, we're gonna take you to a show where we sing for you, where we make you blue. Ekello, we are a dynamic duo. Ekello, coming back at you, Ekello. That is one hell of a show, and we're gonna make you know, Ekello. In the spotlight, feel the buzz, it's electric. Two hearts beat, we sync, oh so eclectic. Step on stage, hear the crowd, they're excited. With every line we drop, watch the vibe ignited. Ekello, we setting the pace. Rhymes ricochet like stars in space. Echo of the night, feel the bass drop low. We weaving tales, let the energy flow. We're not just a show, we're a whole experience. Sipping on dreams, it's a lyrical hydroments. Metaphors dance, twist and spin in the air. Catch the rhythms and rhythms, gotta be rare. Ekello, we are a dynamic duo. Ekello, coming back at you, Ekello. That is one hell of a show, and we're gonna make you know, Ekello. From street corners to the heights of fame, painting the canvas, each note no shame. With a flick of the wrist, let the words entwine. Fluid like water, this art's divine. Ekello, it's a rise and a fall. Echo through the night, hear the siren call. Dynamic duo like yin and yang. Sound waves crashing, no we can't hang. Absorb the sound, feel the heat of the flow. These verses ignite, watch the embers glow. Listen close, lean in, can't let this go. It's more than a